Hello, Michael here, looking at Psalms 101 for our devotion. A psalm which may be titled, A Psalm of David, and may be subtitled, I Will Walk with Integrity. And we're focusing on verse 5 and 6 for the exposition. Let's go ahead and read those two verses. Verse 5. Whoso privily slandereth his neighbour, him will I cut off. Him that hath an high look and a proud heart will not I suffer. And verse 6. Mine eyes shall be upon the faithful of the land, that they may dwell with me. He that walketh in a perfect way, he shall serve me. And as we turn to the treasure of David for the exposition, let's go ahead and read verse 5 again. Whoso privily slandereth his neighbour, him will I cut off. Him that hath an high look and a proud heart will not I suffer. And so we turn to the treasure of David for the exposition. Verse 5. Whose privily slandereth his neighbour, him will I cut off. He had known so bitterly the miseries caused by slanderers that he intended to deal severely with such vipers when he came into power, not to revenge his own ills, but to prevent others from suffering as he had done. To give one's neighbour a stab in the dark is one of the most atrocious of crimes, and cannot be too heartily reprobated. Yet such as are guilty of it often find patronage in high places, and are considered to be men of penetration, trusty ones who have a keen eye, and take care to keep their lords well posted up. King David would top the godly tree of his state of all such superfluous boughs. Him that hath an high look and a proud heart, him will not I suffer. Proud, domineering, supercilious gentlemen, who look down upon the poor as though they were so many worms crawling in the earth beneath their feet, the psalmist could not bear. The sight of them made him suffer, and therefore he would not suffer them. Great men often affect aristocratic airs and haughty manners. David therefore resolved that none should be great in his palace, but those who had more grace and more sense than to indulge in such abominable vanity. Proud men are generally hard, and therefore very unfit for office. A person of high looks provoke enmity and discontent, and the fewer of such people about a court, the better for the stability of a throne. If all slanderers were now cut off, and all the proud banished, it is to be feared that the next census would declare a very sensible diminution of the population. And verse 6 that reads, Mine eyes shall be upon the faithful of the land, that they may dwell with me. He that walketh in a perfect way, he shall serve me. And Spurgeon exposits, Mine eyes shall be upon the faithful of the land, that they may dwell with me. He would seek them out, engage their services, take care of them, and promote them to honor. This is a noble occupation for a king, and one which will repay him infinitely better than listening to the soft nothings of flatterers. It would be greatly for the profit of us all if we choose our servants rather by their piety than by their cleverness. He who gets a faithful servant gets a treasure, and he ought to do anything sooner than part with him. Those who are not faithful to God will not be likely to be faithful to men. If we are faithful ourselves, we shall not care to have those about us who cannot speak the truth or fulfill their promises. We shall not be satisfied until all the members of our family are upright in character. He that walketh in a perfect way, he shall serve me. What I wish myself to be, that I desire my servant to be. Employers are to a great degree responsible for their servants, and it is customary to blame a master if he retains in his service persons of notorious character. Therefore, lest we become partakers of other men's sins, we shall do well to decline the services of bad characters. A good master does well to choose a good servant. He may take a prodigal into his house for the sinner's good, but if he consults his own, he will look into another quarter. Wicked nurses have great influence for evil over the minds of little children, and ungodly servants may often injure the morals of the older members of the family, and therefore great care should be exercised that godly servants should be employed as far as possible. Even irreligious men have the sense to perceive the value of Christian servants, and surely their own Christian brethren ought not to have a lower appreciation of them. Yes, indeed. Trust you enjoyed the meditation. Michael here declaring yet again, Jesus is Lord. Until next time, be